Welcome in to the Roll Tide Rewind. We appreciate you joining us today. At the time of filming this, I have 945 subscribers. We are so close to 1,000. Let's get there. If you like what you see, give us a subscription. And check out the video from yesterday on Keelon Russell, if he's poised to be the Alabama starting quarterback. But today we're going to discuss Austin Mack. Is he poised to be the Alabama starting quarterback in 2026? Well, let's go into Austin Mack. Let's go some background on him. He's a 4-star in the 2023 class. So that was 4 recruiting cycles ago. But 4-star according to 247. Followed DeBoer from Washington. He was on Washington's national title roster. They didn't win the national title game roster from 2023 with Michael Penix as the quarterback. But he followed DeBoer. He's been the backup to Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson, and now he's in line to compete for the job. But high school-wise, when he got to play his last full season in college football, we have 269 of 382, 70.4 completion percentage, 3,500 yards, 40 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Played at Folsom, California, really good high school. They have won multiple titles, and I think they won a title with Austin Mack, but they went 12-2 his last year he was there. But also coming from California, California is a great area for high school football, like California, Florida, Texas, Georgia, always good places to, if you hear that they're from those areas, you're like, okay, they've had competition. Austin Mack is one of those. He came from California. Well, he turns 20 in June. He's very, very young. So for a guy going into their 4th year, you're expecting them to be 21, 22 years old. He's only 19 right now. He's just going to turn 20 in June. So in 4 months, he'll be 20. Last high school season, he was 16 years old. He was 17 when he was on that 2023 roster. Came over, turned 18 before his first season in Alabama, and just turned 19 before last fall. So he's very, very young, but he's experienced entering his 4th year of college. So kind of like how Ryan Williams came in as a 17-year-old, Austin Mack did the same thing, and it's the same thing as Xavier Crowell is doing. He only did 3 years of high school football as well. But with Austin Mack, he's very, very unique in his size. He is 6'6", 235 pounds. He would be the tallest starting quarterback in the SEC this year. I looked up the 16 projected starting quarterbacks, and I think the second tallest was Arch Manning at 6'4". So Austin Mack would tower above every other starting quarterback in the SEC. So that provides uniqueness if he is named the starting quarterback. But let's look into some high school film of Austin Mack. You can just see, compared to his offensive lineman, I think he's much taller than every single one of them. But in the backfield, you can just see that's just such a unique skill set right there. But let's look at some of these throws. I'm impressed by the first throw. He throws this ball before the receiver even kind of almost breaks for the touchdown. He throws it in the perfect spot into the end zone. He knows what he has an interception. We'll go into this next play here. Able to stay in the pocket, able to deliver a very quick throw, because if that throw is any late, that's a hospital ball. That defender is ready to take the guy's head off. So great awareness of the play. It's also just, one of those plays where you act like you're blocking the screen and then you just run straight for a wheel route. Receiver's going to do a good job getting those 2 defenders to pop up, and then the receiver's able to sneak by and get an easy touchdown. But great quickness with a throw, because like I said, any later, it's probably a hospital ball. We'll go into this next play here. Great throw to the corner there. Nothing much more to say on this throw, but you can see standing in the pocket. Just look how much taller he is than everybody else. Not a bad thing to have not a bad thing to have a really tall starting quarterback. Going to the next play here, but this is, like I said, just a lot of high school film. This is the last time he was able to get extensive starting experience. But a lot of people are skeptical on Austin Mack, but I think he has a lot of great ability. We'll see on this throw, this deep ball right here, as he's getting hits him in perfect stride. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, that guy was 20 yards wide open, but look at the throw. The receiver never breaks stride. And he doesn't get to throw. He hasn't thrown the deep ball a lot at Alabama. Neither has Keelon Russell, just because of the opportunities that have been in front of them. But you can see here, steps into the pocket, stays in the pocket, doesn't bail, throws a really good ball to his receiver. So I like what I see out of Austin Mack. I think he would be a great starting quarterback for Alabama. Is he the best option? That's the good question. But one thing people have, you get told a lot that he has a good deep ball, but he really hasn't used it as much. But that's why I wanted to include these last 3 clips of high school of him using the deep ball because, he can throw the deep ball. He has the ability to do so. He's not just, a short passing merchant, as some people have said. But even here against Mercer, this is in 2024. Rico Scott, very beautiful throw, but he's throwing this from the 39-yard line, and that's landing about 7 yards into the end zone. So that's 46 yards of air right there, and it's a good catch, but also a really good throw. Puts it in a spot where Rico can make a play, but really good catch by Rico, one-handed there. But yeah, he has the ability to throw the deep ball. Like I said, just hasn't had the opportunity to do it as much. And you can even see here, it's a really good throw. Hits it right where the receiver needs to be. Last year, he got to play more than he did in 2024. He was 75% completion percentage, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Keelon Russell did have the better yards per attempt. He was at 9.5, whereas Austin Mack is 7.1. And 7.1 would put him among the starting quarterbacks, like in the middle of the starting quarterbacks, I believe. So could be better, but also he wasn't playing with the starters. So I'm not going to knock on him for that. He did play with the starters some in the Rose Bowl, but that was the only time. But Ryan Grubb loves Austin Mack. He loves Keelon Russell as well. He said that he didn't go after any transfer portal quarterbacks because feels like he has 2 of the better quarterbacks in the country. So look at some film from last year of Austin Mack. First throw of the year, Kevin Riley kind of throws it behind him, but gets it to the receiver. I feel like the only knock I really have on Austin Mack is he doesn't have the best touch on short throws. Like this one's kind of a bullet right behind Kevin Riley when it doesn't really necessarily have to be. But great play nonetheless. This next throw is a really good throw, very underrated throw from Austin Mack. This is a touchdown to Caleb Edwards, who will be entering his sophomore year. But you see the throw, how Caleb Edwards catches it, has to go across his body. So you kind of think that, Austin Mack, got lucky with this throw, but it was strategic. So Caleb Edwards is going to run basically almost like an out route, not a total out route, but kind of a corner route to the corner of the end zone where he's supposed to be a touchdown. But Louisiana Monroe's defenders actually kind of read it well. As soon as he sees Edwards breaking, he stops and starts to run back because the throw is for Caleb Edwards to realistically catch it in this area of the end zone. However, the defender's right there. If Austin Mack floats this, there's the opportunity for this defender to jump and intercept this ball. But there's a lot of room right in here where there's no defenders, and that's where Austin Mack takes advantage of this throw. And that's Caleb Edwards makes a good play on the ball, but there's a reason Austin Mack threw it that way. He wasn't throwing it that way because it's a bad throw. He's throwing it that way to dodge the defender right here, because if he lobs it that way, you're just asking for the ball to be picked off. And it's, you're ending the possession in the red zone. You don't really want to do that. You try to take care of the ball as much as you can. This is a great throw. And Keelon Russell had a similar throw to Caleb Edwards that I talked about in the last video, but both quarterbacks have great football IQ. They both understand the game. And then this is where I love Austin Mack's 6'6" frame, because you can do jump passes with Austin Mack. And that's what this is right here. 6'6", and he's going to jump and throw the ball. Yeah, there's nothing you can really do. There's no chance of this ball ever getting batted down. These defenders right here are going to attempt to. They're not as tall as Austin Mack, and they maybe have a better vertical, but at 6'6" and his long wingspan, throwing that ball up in the air, no chance to stop that. And I think if Austin Mack is the starter, we will utilize this a lot, especially with Caleb Edwards. Caleb Edwards is also 6'6". This is a great utilization. Now, Austin Mack did have to come in the Rose Bowl, and I'm not really going to use that performance as a reason to say that he shouldn't start, because he had some good moments in this game, but also we're playing Indiana. Indiana was a battering ram. They went 16-0. Like, I'm not going to fault him for anything in this game. Like, we're going to look at some of the good plays that he had, but it's hard to fault Austin Mack for this because, Ty Simpson didn't really do much either. So, but this is a really good throw to Jeremy Bernard. Feels the pressure, steps into the pocket. You wish that he maybe kept Bernard in bounds here, but Bernard's kind of running right on the edge of that sideline. But great throw to hit him in stride, get upfield. Then we'll go to the next throw here to Cuevas. I think the Cuevas might be even a better throw. Cuevas goes in motion here. And then Austin Mack's going to kind of step into the pocket, similar to the last throw, but brings all the defenders in. And right before the defender can jump, Cuevas, he's able to rocket that ball in. And that time he kind of has to rocket the ball in. If that ball floats at all, the ball's the potential pick by that corner, and he's just running down the sideline with blockers. But great job by understanding the pressure, bringing all the defenders closer to get your receiver a better chance at this ball. So, and then with Austin Mack being 6'6", does he have running ability? So one question asked, how good is he running the ball? Well, he had a great touchdown against Eastern Illinois. Stepped into the pocket, sees a lot of green, but also sees the whole field. A lot of quarterbacks will see green, get 10 yards and just slide down. But Austin Mack sees the opening. He runs up here because he technically could just run, get right here when these defenders get close, slide, get a first down. But he sees his options over here across the field. And he has blockers to help Derek Meadows, Kevin Riley, kind of help pave the way for him to make it all the way to the end zone. So running ability is there for Austin Mack. I don't have any problems with his mobility. Maybe some people do, but I don't really have any problems with it. I think he moves in the pocket very well, and he also understands when he needs to take the ball and needs to go. Sometimes Ty Simpson, I feel like, would hold onto the ball more than he needed to. But I think Austin Mack hopefully should not have that problem. But even you see here against Indiana, he uses his throwing ability as the best option here because he acts like he's going to throw, gets a good pump fake, makes those defenders have to run. So instead of, getting maybe like 5 yards, he gets almost 15 on this play. So I like what I see about Austin Mack here, about his ability. Like if he's going to be able to run the ball, I trust it. So comment your thoughts. Do you think Austin Mack will be the starter this year? You think he'll be the backup? I talked about in the last video, like they both provide different things. They both are similar in some things. They provide some things that are different. I think Keelon Russell maybe has the best ability of them, but Austin Mack has the experience, and sometimes that's what's going to win you over. So I feel like, I don't know, like I said, if I was the coach, I may pick Keelon Russell, but I think Austin Mack probably, if I had to pick one today, I think I would pick Austin Mack because experience sometimes just wins you over, and he's been in that system for almost 4 years, so that's going to help him. But like I said, please comment below if you think that Austin Mack will be the starter, or if you think Keelon Russell will be the starter, and what's your reasoning why. We have 7 more months. These things will answer themselves. Spring ball will happen. Fall camp will happen, and that will give us, more ideas about who will be starting. But until then, I hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and roll Tide.